Some absolutely chaotic matchups in the round of 16, and we are back. It's the quarterfinals of the Asian Cup now. 8 teams left in it, all with an equal percent chance of winning and lifting that trophy. We've got some incredible matchups. We have seen some incredible games. The Saudi Arabia-South Korea one was unbelievable, the chaos in that one. And South Korea ended up winning on penalties. Iran, all the way to penalties to have to beat Syria. Syria, man, they locked it down and they were very solid. But then on penalties, Iran just managed to edge it. We saw a chaotic game between Iraq and Jordan, which saw the top goal scorer of the tournament, Ayman Hussein, get sent off for celebration. It was a ridiculous moment. I thought it was a ridiculous red card. And then Jordan somehow came back to win that game and now face, and we're going to go straight into it, Tajikistan. Jordan versus Tajikistan, and the Tajiks, man, how are they even here? For them, it's a crazy shock to even be here. They somehow made it through the groups. I don't think many people even thought that. And when they came up against Paulo Bento's UAE, who, yes, didn't have a very good group stage, but we know how much talent they have in their squad, not many people gave them a chance, including myself. I thought UAE were going to win. But 30 minutes in, and Vahdad Hanonov scores a nice header off a cross from his centre-back partner, Zoyer Jurbayev. And from that moment on, they were winning 1-0, and they really should have killed the game off. Up front, the striker, Alisher Jalilov, really missed a few sitters, and it explains why the Tajiks are not as good, because they do miss chances. As I said, I'm going to keep saying it, no player for the national team has scored more than 10 goals for the national team. So that's a problem when your striker's missing chances like he did in that game. 2 big chances missed. You're basically gonna have to get very lucky to get through, because those chances don't come that often, and especially now that you're coming up against a very solid Jordanian side. However, one person I do have to highlight on this Tajik team, who I think is absolutely magnificent, is the goalkeeper Yatimov. I feel like Bro is unreal. He saved a penalty as well in the shootout to win them the penalty shootout. But I feel like during the entire game, man was pulling off saves. That centre-back partnership as well looks solid, right? UAE had chances, but never really clear-cut ones. They did hit the post late on. And then obviously Khalifa Al-Hamadi off the set piece scores later on, and the Tajiks' hearts were broken. But then in the penalty shootout, they managed to do it, and that's good that you know how to take penalties. That would be a huge bonus if it went to penalties. They now have the experience of that. Yatimov has saved a penalty. Jordan, however, 2-1 down in the 90th minute, yet they somehow managed to win it in normal time. The Ayman Hussein red card changed everything. It was a ridiculous decision, and very lucky for Jordan, but they were very solid, especially in that first half. They created more chances, and up front, Al Naimat scores the first goal on the counter, and the Jordanians look so solid on the counter. We saw them against Malaysia. They did the exact same thing. Those balls over the top, and then just those, we saw in the Malaysia game, the penalty was created from that, the third goal, the fourth goal, all coming from these counter-attacking plays, and Al Naimat and Al Tamari are usually the ones creating it, and that's how they scored the first goal. At half-time, tactic change for Iraq, and Iraq's second half were absolutely pushing them. They were dominating. They got the first goal through Naji, and then Ayman Hussein struck a beautiful volley in, then got himself sent off for excessive celebration, which was ridiculous. And then later on, the Jordanians managed to score 2 very nice goals, and they are now through to the quarterfinals, and they are the favourites up against Tajikistan. Who would have thought that they would be in a position to potentially make the semi-finals? And I think they will. I think Jordan are going to win this game 2-0. Tajikistan, a beautiful journey from them, but I don't think they'll be enough to beat Jordan. I feel like this side are very strong. I like the midfielder as well, Nizar Al-Rashdan, the guy that scored the winner for them. I thought he was very solid, very controlled in the midfield. And I think they look like a good side, so I think they're going to make it through to the semi-finals. Moving on to a massive game between Australia and South Korea. This is huge because the Australians obliterated their competition in Indonesia 4-0, but it wasn't a dominant performance, right? They scored 2 late goals, but they only had 4 shots on target and they scored 4 goals. So very clinical. So is that a good sign or a bad sign? Because Graham Arnold Ball, typical, boring Australian, physical, They've got some solid players. Jackson Irvine's been good this tournament. Jordan Boss, Martin Boyle, right? Harry Sutar at the back. I feel like that guy's a beast. He's going to have to keep Son Heung-min on lockdown, right? He might have to take Lee Gang in as well. I feel like South Korea is about the individual brilliance, but Australia, I feel like as a team, physically, extremely, extremely strong, and they might have the edge on that. Also, off the bench, who came on? Craig Goodwin came on and scored a good goal and got an assist. Man came on in the 87th minute, finished with a goal and an assist. Then also got options like Husseini Yengi, played against Uzbekistan, won the penalty in that game, looked very, very good. But Australia are up against a great side. South Korea are a great side. But with a fraudulent manager. Now, Klinsmann, I would say, in the round of 16s, got it right? He changed formation, stopped playing the 4-4-2, and they looked much better. They couldn't take their chances, though. And then the Cho Gae-sung redemption arc struck late on to drag it to extra time and then eventually win on penalties. I mean, if we're going through that game, the stand-up performers, again, I think Son Heung-min was not great. I feel like Lee Kang-in was all right, but he wasn't as good as he was in the group stages. I feel like they did a good job on him there, right? But he did create a lot. Didn't really get himself into goal-scoring opportunities, though, is what I would say. But still, I would say one of the players of the tournament, if not the player of the tournament. And Australia need to keep an eye on him. They absolutely need to keep an eye on him because he was... The Saudis did well on him, right? That back line of Tambakti, Lajami, right? They were good. They were playing nice. They were solid. But Lee Kang-in still managed to create 7 chances in the game. That just shows you how dangerous he is. I think Harry Souttar has to be absolutely man-marking him throughout the game. And then, I mean, in the midfield, I feel like Hwang In-beom was really, really good. Right back, Kim Tae-hwan, solid. I feel like he needs to do more, right? I feel like he needs to create more, but it was okay. Kim Min-jae, other than the goal was definitely partly his fault, but after that, he kind of got better and he made some crucial tackles there. But the man carrying the back line, Kim Yong-won, that guy is a baller. That guy is so, so good. Playing for Ulsan, right? 33 years old, veteran, but he was, again, very, very good. The left back as well, So Young-woo, right? Solid. Got the assist, obviously, for Cho Gae-sung's goal. Created from the other right back, so that was nice. And Cho Gae-sung coming off the bench. Now the question is, does Klinsmann start him in the next game? Now, Jurgen Klinsmann, let's see what he's going to do, because if he puts the correct lineup out, who knows? Hwang Hee-chan came on, did well, scored the winning penalty as well. And South Korea, they look like they've got their weaknesses, but they've just got so much talent. They've got so much talent. So I feel like it's going to be close. I feel like how will they deal with the Australian physicality is something that is a question that's going to be answered. But that is why I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I feel like it's going to be a very good game. But considering how many chances South Korea missed in this game, I don't know how many they'll score. But as we saw, all Australia need one shot and they will score. And I think this game will go to penalties. And I don't mean to upset anyone, but I have gone with an Australia win on penalties. A classic Graham Arnold, boring but effective type of football. They win it on penalties and they advance to the semi-finals. I just think that Jurgen Klinsmann, I feel like managers are so important at this, and I feel like he just isn't that great of a manager himself, right? So I feel like that's going to be the key. But if South Korea finish their chances, like we know they can do, maybe. But you could say the same for Australia, because the Korean backline hasn't been the best at this tournament, even though Saudi Arabia didn't take their advantage of that. They scored 1 goal. They had more chances, but not really. You would have expected them to create more. I think Australia are going to win it on penalties. I might regret that. Next game is Iran versus Japan. Now, oh my gosh. The Japanese 3-1. They looked in cruise control against Bahrain. They were so good. I feel like the attack is just... The talent is so good, right? Takafusa Kubo managed to get himself on the score sheet. Ritsu Doan and Ayase Ueda getting the others, man. And Ueda also scored an own goal, where the Bahrain goal was a bit of miscommunication between him and Zion Suzuki. And from a set piece again, these types of things could cost you, again, especially against an Irani team that is very physical, that has got some players that can take their chances off crosses and stuff like that. However, they don't have Mehdi Taremi. Mehdi Taremi got himself 2 bookings and he is now suspended for the game against Japan, and that is a massive, massive loss. But the Iranians, let's not act like these guys are scrubs at all, even without them. Saman Ghoddos in the midfield, I feel like he's had a great tournament. And then the fullbacks, Ramin Rezaeian and Haj Safi, are very, very good. They can create, they can put those crosses into someone like Sardar Azmoun. I wonder who's going to take Taremi's spot. It might be Karam Ansarifard, I don't know. Then you've got Gayedi as well, who had a very good group stage. Man, this is a solid team. Just because they don't have Taremi, and now Japanese fans, please don't count them out of this. Don't underestimate them. The Iranis are one of the favourites to win this tournament. Eza Talahi in the midfield, I think he's solid as well. I don't know. I really don't know. This is going to be a really, really tough game, but I feel like it's going to be a shootout. I feel like the Japanese will score 2, but the Iranis will score 2 against Zion Suzuki. Maybe a redemption arc, but I haven't been convinced with what I've seen from him this tournament. And I feel like it's going to penalties again. And maybe I'm just hating on the East Asian countries, but I'm sorry. I think Iran are going to win it on penalties. Ali Reza Bayranvand is so good at saving penalties. I feel like if it goes to penalties, only one team is going to win this. Only one team is going to win this. But I feel like the Japanese, if they get it together, if they take their chances, if Moriyasu picks the correct lineup, puts the players in the correct positions, they have got the better team. They are the favourites and they should be winning this game. But it's the Asian Cup. What should happen and what will happen are 2 very different things. And I think that Irani team, the team chemistry is absolutely magnificent, right? I feel like some of the football that we've seen from them at this tournament against Syria, it wasn't really that. They shouldn't have gone to penalties. They should have won it in normal time. But in the group stages, they were absolutely exquisite. And I feel like they're going to win it. Oh my gosh, I might regret this. I've gone for major upsets. And then the last one, Qatar versus Uzbekistan. And to be completely honest with you, I think Uzbekistan will batter these lot. I think that the only thing saving Qatar is Akram Afif, who is an absolute baller. And I feel like he'll score. But I've gone for Uzbekistan 3, Qatar 1. Uzbekistan against Thailand. They were the better team. They were very, very solid. And that man, Faizuliev, on the wing. He's so techie. At the age of 20, playing for CSK Moscow, he is a baller. And then the midfielder, Kolmatov, man, that guy controlled the game. Got himself an assist on the day as well. And they just look in cruise control against Thailand, right? Thailand scored as well. A pretty nice goal. And Superchai, right? They managed to keep him quiet, got an assist, but didn't score. They managed to keep him quiet. The backline was solid as well. These guys have got physicality. And the Qataris, man, if Palestine could take their chances, they would have won the game. But they couldn't. Dabag scored first, and then off a corner, a nice little move, Al Haidos bangs it in, and then from the penalty spot, Akram Afif. But I can't lie to you, bro. Palestine probably should have won that game. And boy, oh boy, this is going to be a good one. But I think the Uzbeks are heading for the semi-finals, which would be incredible for them. And in my predictions, they would face Iran in the semis. And wow. Uzbekistan are a great team, man. They managed to draw against Australia, right? Defensively, they're extremely solid. I think they'll beat Qatar. Right, thank you guys for watching till the end. I'm hoping to see some crazy games in the Asian Cup quarterfinals. Let me know your predictions in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.